Alright, so here's a short video on the new beer kit. Just got a focus. There we go, honey blonde ale. I usually add 500 ml or a kilogram of honey to it to kick up the alcohol content, make it a slight bit sweeter, but I'm not going to bother with this one. So there's the kit. Just sterilize the container. Put in 1 gallon. I have it 3 of these little containers, the milk crates high. So then when that's done, you have another container and it's about this high when it's above the ground, so it just makes it a lot easier to siphon it. So this is higher, so the gravity will just suck it down a little faster. That's it for that. I haven't turned on the heater yet. This is the room environmental control. Day temp 69, night temp 69, with a 1 degree variable, so it'll go 70 or 68 before the heater will turn on. Well, it'll turn off at 69. Or sorry, it'll turn off at 70, since it's 1 degree higher, and they'll turn on at 68. Yeah, so that's that. Plan to make some shelving in here when the time comes. Some nice shelving. Brewing on this side. All the equipment like those liquid cans of extract malt will go onto the shelving and whatnot. And I believe that is it. That's just all the other stuff that I did. Clean the room. Wash the walls, all that kind of good stuff. And that is all for now. Till the next part. On a side note, they give you this 190 grams of dextrose to add at the end when you go to bottle it for carbonation, but I am going to just add it at the start since I'm not going to be using honey, and that'll just boost up the alcohol content slightly. And instead of 2 gallons like it asks you to add it, I've only added 1. So in the end it will be a 5-gallon kit, not a 6-gallon kit. Reason being, my kegs, they're only 5 gallons and I didn't want to have to do an extra gallon into bottles like usual. And that's it. Till step 3. Alright, so I have just added the dextrose. Now you need to add the bicarbonate. Since the beer kit is naturally acidic, that is their natural way to preserve it instead of adding an additive. They just simply make the liquid acidic, and it makes it a lot harder for organisms to try to live in that environment. So this brings it back up to 5 pH, or I'm not really too sure. I'm guessing it's somewhere neutral. So then yeah, then that gets added in stirred. Step 4. Next step, I then take the bag out of the container. So you can see that there is a sediment layer inside of it, so you just kind of want to mix it up as best you can. Because when you go to pour it, you would have had that sediment layer on the bottom. You kind of want to get all that goodies into the liquid. That looks real good. Just give it a bit more from each corner. Make sure. There we go. Now it's nice and cloudy. Alright, then you put it back into the container here. And that's where the lid goes through. And then you pour it. Step 5, I think. Alright, only going to get 1 attempt at this. I feel like the camera's right on, so I'm going to just hope it is. I'll put this down. Right there. And then try and pour this bugger. Get that cap off. Oh, it always hurts. Oh, I already smell it. It smells like grain water. And this is how the beer kit starts. It's good to oxygenate it, adds oxygen into the liquid itself, which is important for the yeast. which is the next process of stirring it for several minutes just to create oxygen inside the liquid. Because it sat in this container 3 months, so it has near no oxygen. And oxygen is important for the yeast for their process. Makes it more robust. The more oxygen there is inside the container. You see there's a little bit in there still. Smells like some kind of grain water, like if you put grains in water and boiled it, like a tea. It smells really sweet, but it smells like grains. It's kind of odd. And that's it. I would usually go toss a little bit of water in the bag just to wash all that out, so open your bag. Just grabbing all that extra sugar that's in the corners. Look at all that bubbles just from the water. Definitely tell there's a lot of sugar in this thing. And we'll just squeeze what we can. Just bubbles. That is it. Next step. One second. Now I used to do this by hand until I figured out this method. Automatic, we're stirring with a spoon for 2 minutes. This is a good workout of this lazy man method. This has already been sterilized and was sitting in some liquid that was the sterilization liquid itself. It might help to turn it up. Look at the side, you see a lot of bubbles being pushed around. That's definitely a good sign. Just turn it down one though. If I just hold it. Try the other one. Turn it up. Not doing quite enough. That's really quick. Don't want to have it touch the bottom. Plastic on plastic probably equals scrapings. And little pieces of plastic. let me say that was probably 2 minutes. I got to 1 minute in my head, then I kind of forgot to keep counting. And that's the end of that. The last thing to do, very last thing to do, you sprinkle in the yeast. It says not to mix it, but it honestly does not matter. I'd mix half of it in, because look at all that bubbles. It'd probably take like a day for the bubbles to dissipate, then the yeast finally gets to the liquid and then it starts to do its thing. So by mixing in a little bit, it at least gives it a head start. Then when this stuff finally gets to it, it's really robust and good to go. But yeah, that is the end of it. I hope you enjoyed. And here is right after pouring the yeast. And you can see it's starting to break through the bubbles. Makes it way down. Like 2 inches of bubbles, maybe less. So then, according to the container, there's just under 20 liters, which is 5 gallons. Well, you see little bits of yeast starting to fall to the bottom. They're just doing their thing. Anyway, that is it. It goes on. You leave it for 3 weeks and you are done.